About 3 weeks ago, we sailed from São Vicente to Maio Island, about 160 nautical miles. A few miles away, we continued on to the capital city of Praia, on Santiago, the archipelago's largest island. After 10 days in the city, we anchored in Cidade Velha and woke up to an unexpected surprise.
Police came and visited us this late morning and told us we had to leave our anchorage there in Cidade Velha.
Another day.
Another adventure.
So we had to get an alligator.
The adventure continues. We'll explain later.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
We hopped into a shared taxi for the 15-kilometer ride, all for $1 apiece. We were dropped off at the Alligator station, so there we drove a taxi and on
To the maritime police in Praia, and then ask permission to stay where we already were. I mean, we're gonna cheat for one night, and then we're gonna go in the morning to Terrafel.
We're boarding the trip to Fogo and Brava. It's too complicated. Nice to meet you, Tatiana and Aldi. Everything's a little bit more complicated because of COVID, and we're just gonna stay a few days in Tarrafal and head back to Mindelo. Yep, that was today's adventure.
We got a ride back and invited a couple friends for a grog. Next day I was energized, man. Water was clean and calm. The mantis anchor had dug in firmly. Then I followed the chain because my evening was a night of this said chain scraping and snagging on a rock. Since we had been kindly asked by the maritime police to go, I made sure to free myself from the hungry rock. I gotta admit, I get a little freaked out that a moray eel will snag and bite me from them dark spaces. Revenge for all of them I've eaten fried. Freed, it's time to go before the boat spins and tangles its chain again. Maritime police informed us that we needed a special authorization to anchor here, and we did not. We had to go. We would sail most of the day along the southwest coast of the island. There is not much wind here, since we are leeward. But it's a nice change to just motor along and catch a breeze here and there. The visibility was stagnant at best. It was one of those bruma seca days, a dry fog, thick and blowing from the Great Sahara Desert northeast. Our next destination is Tarrafal on the northern tip of the island. The day before, we had gotten an authorization from maritime police to anchor there. At this point, we were bounced by these waves. I wondered where they came from. But when I saw my speed instrument, surface and ground, I saw we were in a 1.5 to 2 knots of current. As well, it was shallower. I'm taking a guess the waves are formed by the current here. called me and invited me for lunch. I knew just the place to go, about an hour away. I'd been to this anchorage, one of the nicest of all the islands, very private and away from it all. Lily had prepared lunch, pork chops bathed in a creamy mushroom sauce and rice. And for dessert, well, we had local refreshments. We've got about 1 to 2 hours to go now.
I've got an incident. I just heard some pretty nasty noise coming from the drive shaft. All of a sudden my engine started revving up. It was strange because I couldn't go above 2,000 RPM. And then all of a sudden it just jumped to like 3,000 RPM. Bad noise. I came back and put it in reverse by accident or something. And then now I have no more torque. Seems like my shaft is slipped. And I've got no torque in the propeller. So Peter's coming back to rescue me. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go slow as we can. Give you some time to tie that up. I'm gonna try and stop, Alex. We got about 100 feet of that.
I could have sailed upwind, but Peter offered and was close by. This is only the second time I've been towed, so my experience is close to none. Sorry. We only had about 3 miles to go, and for the rest of the tow, I managed to keep the line taut between us.
Well, here we are in Cabo Verde, Santiago. Peter had to tow me in. I had a problem with my drive shaft, man. All of a sudden, it just started cranking and making noise, and now I have no more torque, so I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I could have sailed in, but it was pretty windy, and Peter was real close by, and offered to tow me in, so that's what I did. We towed in. Now we're here, Tarrafal, and it's windy. Dropped anchor, and we'll have to figure out what the hell happened with my drive shaft tomorrow. I don't want to deal with that tonight. Anyways, it's party time and we all want to have a good time, so it's friggin' windy here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to row over there to their boat. I'll be drifted away because I only have paddles, man, so
The dust lifted and we enjoyed what the little tourist town had to offer. Food, the market, and beach. In 2 days we have to go. Wind looks good, but probably strong as usual. As well, I need to check my propeller. Number 1 check, it's still there. Later, Peter offered to go in first hand, plus he was hot. He's always hot, and in the mood to dive in and cool off. He checked it when it was in gear, it was solid, and the shaft would lock and move as I put it forward and back. Then we checked it with the motor, it rotates, but just mildly even when I try to accelerate. And it's the same in reverse. At least I'm not going to lose my prop and I can make it back to Mindelo. The next day was the quest to get our exit papers. And we had to present a negative COVID test to get them from the maritime police.
Here we are, doing another COVID test.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Yep. Here with these lovely lady assistants. So what's up? Peter's going X. He's gonna get his finger pricked.
So we hired a car to drive us 2 hours south and cross the entire island to get here at the Maritime Police Office. And of course, we had to drive the 2 hours back north to our boats, because tomorrow we gotta go.
Well, I'm getting ready to go tomorrow morning, really early. Got to sail back to Mindelo, and I've got a propeller shaft problem. It's slipping, so I don't have power and going through to the propeller. It's just barely spinning. Check the propeller; it's not falling off. Nothing wrong there. I think it's something to do with the shaft to the flywheel or something like that. I have no idea. We're gonna check that out when we get to Mindelo. I've got the generator running to charge up the batteries good for the autopilot, and now I'm gonna seal up this porthole with some Vaseline, because it's kind of dry, and when the waves come crashing over, it gets wet in here. And I've noticed that since I put a coat of Vaseline around the edge there, I got no leaks. So I got to do that. These are little things I don't want to forget. There, nice and tight. Tomorrow, it's the big day, 6 o'clock in the morning. It'll be dusk, 6:30 or something like that. Vamos. I'm gonna sail all the way back without a motor.
This next passage will prove to be the hardest of all my sailing career so far. It was great to have you along on this voyage. Give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you feel any value in this series. Me and Galopin promise you a good time every Wednesday, so welcome aboard.